Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Cognitive Recalibration Podcast. As always, I'm your host Shravan. We've got Tyrone here with us.
Hey everyone.
So we've sort of come out of hibernation a little bit with this episode. We're actually going to do some other episodes this week, but because of DC Fandome, we've decided to do a quick recap of all the main panels that have happened today, just a couple of hours ago. So we got up. I wouldn't say it was ridiculously early. It was early. It was early for a Sunday.
Me.
It was early for a Sunday. I got up at 7 and watched some of the panels from there, and then we watched a couple of the reruns as well. So I guess we'll just go through each of the panels in order and just talk about what our thoughts are on each of them.
Yep.
All right. The first one was Wonder Woman 1984. I didn't watch the panel for this, but you watched it. So what was the panel like?
Oh, they were just... There wasn't much in the panel, really. They were just cracking jokes and
Who was
shit.
Who was there?
So they had Gal Gadot, Patty Jenkins, is that her name?
Yeah.
The director?
Yeah.
Yep. They had Chris Pine, Pedro Pascal.
Was it everyone
Who
at
plays the
that?
villain?
They had this. It wasn't a panel. It was like this game that they did later on.
Yeah, no. They didn't have everyone on from that in this. It was only other than... And then, what's her name?
Kristen Wiig.
The girl that... Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
It was just them for the panel. And then the original Wonder Woman came on that one as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because it's the 80th anniversary of...
80th, yeah. But yeah, they were just talking about like set stuff. Nothing movie related.
Yeah. Well, the movie's done, right? It's...
Yeah, it would have already been released if it wasn't for Corona.
When was it meant to release again? July or something?
June?
Yeah.
June or July, something like that. Yeah.
And at the moment, it's still expected to release in October, right? Did they announce any release dates?
Nah, they didn't change any of that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in the trailer either.
No, it's not. Well, I think all of these
but
trailers
they did,
like they keep it pretty
brief about when they're coming out.
Like I think most of them just have the year, which is I mean, you can't get much out of that. So talking about the trailers, there was a trailer that they released for this.
Yeah, that was kind of like the big reveal. They had the trailer.
I haven't actually. I have seen the previous trailers, but like I'm not watching trailers in detail these days because they tend to give too much away of the movies, so I tend to sort of avoid them now. But does this have new footage compared to before? So
the only big reveal in this trailer is it has Cheetah as a cheetah, like in her final form.
And that was only like a couple of shots, right?
Yeah, it was very brief. Yeah. But they never showed Cheetah's full costume. Well, not costume, her look. Which looked okay.
Yeah. Overall, like the movie looks okay. Like it's not... I wouldn't say it's like mind-blowing and I can't wait to watch it or anything like that, but it looks fine. Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah.
I'll say this. There's a panel that came later on where the cast played... This is what you were talking about before. Like, they had the cast and they played like a game of Mafia. Do you know Mafia? Yeah.
No, I watched it. I watched that that game that they played, yeah.
And I'll give, like, the cast, like, works well together. Like, even in that, they're, like, all funny and they all chat well together. It could just be an act, but they all seem like they're friends, which was, I don't know why, I always like that.
But the weird thing is, like, in that game, the main characters in the movie were, like, out in, like, the first 2 rounds. So, like, Chris Pine was gone. Gal Gadot was gone. Pretty much all the main cast was gone. It was just like these other people that weren't even in the first movie that were left. So I didn't even know who they were.
The other guys were still there. They were still talking.
Yeah.
It was really funny. The cast works well together, which is why I think the movie will be good.
Hopefully. I mean, hopefully. Hopefully that's a good sign. Yeah.
Okay. But other than the cheetah, nothing much else. Did you ask what the cheetah's powers were?
Yeah, I was going to ask what her powers are.
I think she's meant to have the powers of a cheetah.
So she's fast.
She's a human cheetah hybrid. Like they inject cheetah DNA into her or something. So she's like a hybrid between those.
So she's like trying to think of the word, but it's kind of like a biological fusion of cheetah and human, sort of. Kind of like Lizard in Spider-Man, except he's mostly lizard.
Yeah, he's just a lizard, isn't he? No, she's more... she's like a mixture of both.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say about this because, yeah, like I said, I've been...
I don't think they had much to say about it either. They couldn't really say anything without spoiling the whole movie, and everything they could already say, they've already said, so...
Hopefully it just comes out when it's meant to come out. I guess that there was a couple of stuff after that, which I guess it's not as important. They had some like fandom store things. They had some Postmates offer. I don't know what these are.
Yeah, I don't think that actually... When I watched it, that wasn't actually there, so...
Yeah.
That might just be an ad or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Just a really long ad.
Yeah.
Then they had a games announcement. The Warner Bros.
Yes.
Games Montreal announcement. Was that?
Yeah. This was the... I'm forgetting the name. Gotham Knights, that's it.
Gotham Knights. Did they have footage for this?
They had a trailer, and then they had in-game footage as well.
How did it look?
It looks like Batman Arkham, all the Arkham games, basically.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't have Batman. Batman's dead. And it's got 4 playable characters. Red Hood, Robin, Nightwing, and Batgirl. It looks good. The in-game footage was pretty good. It's like Batgirl fighting Batgirl and Robin fighting Mr. Freeze. It looks good.
Similar combat as Arkham, Arkham games.
It looks exactly the same as those. Yeah.
And I'm guessing this is next gen game, right? So PS5.
Yeah, this one's coming out sooner than the other game we'll talk about later. But I think this game's slated for next year. They already have in-game footage and it looked complete, so I'm guessing pretty soon. It'll be released in 2021. They also had a mechanic where you could switch between the players. In the one, it had Batgirl and Robin, and you could be Batgirl, and then you could switch to Robin and play as him for a while, and then you could switch back, like within the same mission.
So it's kind of like a tag team.
Tag team, kind of. Yeah.
Do they have multiplayer then?
I don't know specifically for this one. For the other game, I heard that they do, but for this one, I'm not sure. Okay. I think it does.
There was a couple of panels after this one, which I'm not too sure what they were even about, like Multiverse 101, introducing the Flash. Was that the movie Flash?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
So the Multiverse 101 is like in the comics, they're just it was a comic one, and also just like a multiverse guide for people that don't know what it is. It looks like they're going to delve into the multiverse a lot more in comics and in movies.
Okay.
Coming up. Yeah.
That's probably good, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's either that one or later on, but it might have been that one where they announced they're going to do a Black Batman next year in comics.
Cool. Like a multiverse Batman. Okay. So Flash, what did they talk about in that?
So on this one, they had Ezra Miller, who is the Flash, Andy Muschietti, the director, his sister, who's producing it, and the writer, whose name I don't know, but she's writing the movie.
Yeah, Andy Muschietti. I just watched it in Chapter 2 last night, so I don't particularly have a great opinion of him at the moment. But he also did It 1, right? And that was good, I guess.
Yep. Yeah. He did It 1 and Mama. I haven't seen Mama, but he did that as well.
I know most of these panels are just like filler because they don't really have anything to say, to be honest.
Exactly. So what the panels are, each panel was exactly the same. The first 15 minutes is them talking shit and like they don't do anything. They just talk shit. The last 5 minutes, they're like, "Oh, and we have this footage for you."
Yeah.
And that's the only part that's
why everyone's actually there. Yeah.
The kind of big reveals already came before the panel, like a couple days ago, when they said Michael Keaton's going to be in it and Ben Affleck's going to be in it. So they just doubled down on that. And then the kind of reveal was they just had concept art of the Flash's new suit, and with the concept art, he says Batman makes him the new suit as well.
Which Batman?
Didn't say which Batman, but he said Batman, his friend Batman makes him the new suit.
Okay.
But he did confirm that there's time travel as well. So it's a Flashpoint movie.
That's exciting, I guess. I'm guessing it's probably Ben Affleck Batman, because that's in the present timeline. Well, that's in his timeline, right?
Yeah, could be. The suit looks better than the current suit, though. Looks good in the concept art. But yeah, that was about it from that panel. There was no other casting news or anything else. Just that. And
then after that, they had Beyond Batman. Is this?
Oh no, that was nothing.
Yeah, I don't.
That was it was a Batman. Do you know what it was? It was Batman Beyond, the cartoon, and they re-edited some of the images and put in an episode of the 1960s Batman, and it's Bruce Wayne and the Batman Beyond Batman, Terry McGinnis. Yeah. They're watching 1960s Batman,
like on
an
TV.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, what the hell's going on? And they're just commenting on the shit that's happening.
So there's a whole episode of that?
No, it was like a 5 minute reel. Like the Joker comes and chucks fish at Batman, and then he steals this fish.
This is in the 1960s.
In the 1960s.
Yeah, I was like...
And then, and then Terry McGinnis and Batman are watching it, and they're like, what the hell is this? Yeah, okay. That was basically it. Yeah.
Seems like a lot of work to do something like that. I mean, it was 5 minutes. Yeah.
It was 5 minutes. Yeah.
I guess maybe it was.
It's re-edited footage though. They didn't animate anything.
Yeah,
it's just footage they already had. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And they've just re-edited in the voices with new dialogue.
They just put voiceover on it. Yeah.
And then it was a Suicide Squad panel. Did you watch the panel?
Yes, I did. So panel wise, they had the whole Suicide Squad there. They had everyone. Have you seen there was two trailers. There was one trailer with the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
There was another trailer with the character introductions.
I haven't seen the character introductions one, but I've seen the behind the scenes one.
Yeah. The character introductions one just says the character's name and then the actor that plays them with music in the background. And
kind of like their introductions in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
The original Suicide
Squad. So it had like, how many was there? There would have been 12 plus 12. There was 24 of them plus James Gunn.
That's a big panel.
And then they played like they split into two different teams and played like a quiz show with James Gunn asking them questions. And then he revealed all the characters that they're playing, which we could kind of go through a couple, but to be honest, I don't know most of these guys because they're all very obscure.
Who's Idris Elba?
He's Bloodsport.
Okay.
Bloodsport, who goes to jail for shooting Superman. And that's about as much as I know about him.
Goes to jail for shooting Superman, but...
with a kryptonite bullet.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, I was like, with the normal bullet, I mean, it's still a crime, but you're not going to kill him.
Yeah, with the kryptonite bullet. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, obviously.
So Deadshot isn't in this movie?
No. The returning ones are Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, and Jay Courtney as Captain Boomerang. And then there's a whole bunch of ones I don't know who they are. Savant, Michael Rocca, don't know who that is. There's a guy called Javelin, who's played by Flula Borg. Flula Borg's hilarious. On the panel, he was so funny. Some German dude. I've never seen him before. Polka Dot Man, played by David Dastmalchian. That's the guy you've seen him in stuff.
Yeah.
You've seen him in stuff before.
He's in Ant-Man as well.
Yeah. So Polka Dot Man, apparently he could pull these polka dots off, and each of them are like a different kind of bomb or something. Ratcatcher 2, played by Daniela Melchior, don't know. Bloodsport by Idris Elba. King Shark's in it by, I think it's Steve Agee is playing him. And yeah, you know who King Shark is, don't you?
Yeah, I know the character, yeah.
Yeah. So King Shark's like...
Shark.
Yeah. King Shark's probably one of the more well-known ones.
Yeah.
Mongol by Mei Ling Yuan. Never heard of Mongol. The Thinker by Peter Capaldi. Don't know. Soria, Alice Braga. No idea. Blackguard by Pete Davidson. Also don't know who Blackguard is. TDK by Nathan Fillion. Don't know who that is. Weasel by Sean Gunn. Don't know who that is, but seems like it's another CGI character.
CGI character.
Yeah. And The Peacemaker by John Cena, who's meant to be like a screwed up Captain America in DC Universe.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he says that in one of his in that other footage, right? Is that where he said it? Someone said
the
something.
behind the scenes one?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. That's about it that they revealed. Oh, and he also said that there's a lot of visual effects on it and it's like the biggest movie he's ever done. I'm sure he's like obligated to say it's the biggest movie he's ever done. But yeah, apparently it's like very visual effects heavy.
Yeah, in that additional footage that they had, they didn't actually show anything because it was all like behind the scenes stuff. But all of them were saying it's like never before seen superhero movie and biggest superhero movie ever and stuff like that. So yeah,
it's got a lot of characters in it.
It does. Yeah.
Other than like Infinity War, it probably has the most characters.
So it probably is the biggest movie he's ever done. James Gunn. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably is.
And so this is also coming out next year, right?
Yeah, just had next year. It didn't have a specific date or anything.
Was there anything else from that panel or that footage? I'm trying to think. I don't think there was anything that stood out to me in that footage.
No, there was nothing phenomenal. And we kind of already knew who some of those characters were. I don't think anyone's really surprised with who they are.
And we don't really know what the movie is going to be about either, I don't think.
No. There's no sign of what that might be about or who the villain is or anything like that.
Amanda Waller's in it though, right?
She is, yeah. I said that at the start, didn't I?
Yeah, you did, I think. Yeah. Okay, after that one, I think there were a couple of filler panels.
And I didn't watch any of these ones.
I actually did watch this one, the females of color within the DC universe. It was just a discussion with female characters in movies, TV shows about their characters and then how they play a role in the DC universe and overall universe. So that was sort of interesting, I guess. Then it was the Legacy of the Bat panel.
No, didn't watch that one either.
I didn't watch that one either, so we can't really talk about it. Then there was a performance, which I was briefly watching before I started recording this. It was just a band playing music, so that was there. There was a panel about the Joker. I think they were just talking about the history of Joker throughout the years and how the characters changed. There was another panel about the supervillain fan art with Jim Lee. These would be comics related stuff. There was a surprise DC Comics panel. We didn't watch it, so we don't know what the surprise is.
Maybe that was where they announced the Black Batman.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Might have been that one. There was another Batman related one after that with the voices behind the cowl. So I think they must have had people from the animated series on that, possibly. This is when we actually started tuning in live, and this was for the Snyder cut of the Justice League.
Yeah, this was the first one I watched live.
A lot of this, I think, 15 minutes of this.
Very boring panel. Oh my god, it was the worst panel. He brought on these two like super fans who started the Snyder Cut movement, and it was just like 10 minutes of them just being like, Zach, you're the greatest guy ever. And he's like, yeah, I know I am.
Yeah, and the thing with all of these panels is it's not like a Comic-Con panel. Like, these were very obviously pre-recorded and edited. Pre-recorded
and vetted questions that they ask, yeah.
And so it was nowhere near like a natural response from any of the panels, I don't think.
No, and it's all over like a Zoom meeting or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like you don't even know if they're talking to each other at the same time or if one of them recorded it first and then the other one recorded it afterwards.
That's right.
So it feels really
I'm
like
sure
fake.
It was all edited because like with Zoom you do have like technical issues and stuff. So but throughout in all the panels there was nothing like that. So it was just like seamless. So it must have been edited and pre-recorded. But yeah, this panel was like you said, pretty boring until the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. Well, what it was he answered a couple of questions. He had Henry Cavill on. He had Ben Affleck on. And he had the guy that plays Cyborg on. Do you have someone else on? It was so early this morning, I've forgotten. I was half asleep.
I think that was it. I mostly just caught it towards the end where it was just Zack Snyder. It was
Zack Snyder and his two big fans.
Yeah, it was just talking to these guys, and then he announced the footage, the trailer, and that was it.
Yeah, so he did have Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck on for a bit. They just said a little bit about, I'm glad this is happening or whatever. And I'm pretty sure Cyborg was there as well. He did say that Cyborg has a big part to play in the Snyder Cut.
I guess the key thing out of this panel was that it's a 4-part series.
1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour episodes, basically. And then he said he's going to put it together into like a 4-hour movie at the
as
end.
well. Yeah.
But it'll probably be like released weekly or whatever. So they get more subscribers, or monthly, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, monthly is probably a long
cutting it. Yeah.
Long time to wait.
It's 4 months.
So it's coming out on HBO Max, but for geographies where there's no HBO Max, it will be coming out in some other streaming service.
He said he's figuring out ways to get it out there.
Yeah. So we'll, here in Australia, we'll probably get it on Stan or Netflix or something like that. Probably Foxtel.
HBO Max is linked into Foxtel, so it'll probably be coming out through Foxtel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Which we don't have.
That's the only one we don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll figure out a way.
After this, there was a Flash TV panel, which
we did talk about the trailer, though.
Oh, yeah, the trailer. I mean...
Yeah.
Okay, we should talk about it, but it's just overlaid with this song. So
I hate the music choice. Yeah. I hate the music choice, first off.
I think Zack Snyder must love that song because it's in Watchmen.
Yeah, why does he like that song so much? Anyway, it was like all of it was new footage. I don't think any one of them was footage from the previous movie.
Yeah, it was all new.
But it wasn't cut together in any particular way. It was kind of just like, oh, this is new stuff.
So I think, does Steppenwolf look different? Is that
He
Steppenwolf?
does, yeah.
Yeah. So
no, at the start it's Darkseid.
Okay, yep.
And then it's Steppenwolf later.
But he is in it, and he doesn't look the same as he did in...
He looks better, yeah.
Yeah, it looks better. Well, yeah, it looks better.
I'll say this, it looks really good. Like, it doesn't look like a movie that is half made. It looks good.
Like, visually, it looks much better, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what the story... It can't be that much different to the Justice League in terms of story, though.
Based off that footage, it's either, like, extra backstory to the character, or it's the same shot from the movie, just from a different angle. That's what it felt like.
Because the underlying story will still have to be at least similar. It can't be a brand new movie.
It'll be similar.
Yeah.
No. But I'll say it looked good. It looked good.
And
yeah,
I think
visually.
there is a shot of Black Suit Superman.
There is, yeah. Yeah. But look, they could do that in post. It didn't mean that there was going to be Black Suit Superman in the movie. They could just get a shot of Superman walking and then change his suit to black.
Yeah. I mean, they can change his suit to whatever color in post. So
whatever color they want.
He might be exactly the same movie, but he's just got a black suit. Like could be.
It could be the exact same scenes. He's just got a black suit on. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's very, for those who like Zack Snyder stuff, it's like exactly his sort of movie. Like you can tell by the visuals and all of that. It looks like Zack Snyder. So
I guess good. Yeah.
For the fans who wanted this cut, it's probably what they're looking for.
But for the fans that are expecting a different story, other than extra backstory, I think there's definitely going to be extra backstory for every character.
Which is probably good.
But if they're expecting like a different story overall, I don't think they're probably going to get it. I think it might be a bit similar.
Well, originally Justice League was meant to be 2 movies, so it was meant to happen. There was.
I think this is meant to combine both of them. This is going to combine both the 2 movies.
Yeah, but I don't think they actually shot everything.
The second one, no.
Yeah. So it'll be bits and pieces, but let's see.
Maybe some of it will just be completely CGI. Just go from like a scene with actors to the being just completely CGI.
Well, one thing we won't have in this cut is Henry Cavill's like fake or
mustache.
His mustache CGI'd
Mustache
off.
cut. Yeah.
So this will be the actual version that they originally filmed before Joss Whedon came and had to do reshoots. Yeah, I don't have much to say about that.
That's about it. Yeah.
If you ask me if I think it's going to be good or bad, I'll probably still say it's probably going to be bad because it can't be that much different to the original movie unless I don't know. Unless they put a lot of resources into this to actually somehow make a new movie out of it, which they probably didn't because it's going straight to streaming.
I'm hopeful though.
Yeah.
Visually it looks good, but realistically, if they had enough footage to make a whole new movie, like completely different, they probably would have released it in theaters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the key thing to remember is it's going straight to streaming, so I wouldn't have high hopes on it. So next was the Flash TV panel, which I did watch.
I stopped watching Flash like years and years ago. I still watch the panel.
I'm surprised they're up to like season 7 now?
I think it's the final season. I'm not even sure. But yeah.
Well, they didn't actually say in the it didn't sound like it was the final season.
Yeah. They never actually mentioned it. I know they did mention how coronavirus affected their shooting and they couldn't actually shoot the final 4 episodes or whatever. So they ended the final season and they're going to start this new season with the final 4 episodes of the old season.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So and he said, I think it was the director or the showrunner.
Showrunner, yeah.
Yeah, he said that the final episode of this, well, what's become the final episode of this season has a lot of spoilers for the next season because it was meant to all be in one season. So yeah, I've never watched a single episode of this show, so I don't even know what to comment.
I think I've watched like 4 or 5 seasons, but no, maybe not 5. I've watched maybe 4 seasons.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, people love this stuff. Like
they do, yeah.
These shows.
And look, if you like Flash, it looks like you're going to get more of it. So it looks okay. But I have nothing to say about it because I have no idea what's going on. Apparently Iris is in like a mirror dimension or something.
Yeah, I heard some discussion around that. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should. Yeah. Is this on something we can watch? I think it's on Foxtel.
I think it's on Netflix.
Okay. Maybe I'll watch a bit of it. Next was a Black Adam panel.
Which was slightly... I was surprised at what they showed at this panel. Because obviously this movie's not coming out for ages. They've never shot a single thing for it.
They haven't even started. But Dwayne Johnson was there. He was talking about the movie.
It was kind of... Yeah. He's in this big green screen room, I'm guessing. And
Did he actually go into a studio to do this? Or like, did he just do it in his house? Or like...
I reckon what happened was he just finished his workout and they put a green screen behind him at the gym. After he finished his workout, he was drinking his protein shake while he was shooting this.
Yeah. He looked like he just worked out. Like he had like a tank top on.
He always looks like he just worked out though.
Yeah.
Every time you look at Dwayne Johnson, he looks like he just exited the gym.
So I mean, again, there's not much in this. Like, well, I wasn't expecting much in this anyway because
there was more than I.
They haven't done anything.
There's more than I thought would be. There's more than I thought would be. Yeah.
So he just talked about how long this has been in development, and they showed some concept art, I guess, from the film. They
showed like a sizzle reel almost,
and it sort of had the backstory of Black Adam, and his story on his planet, and then I guess the biggest sort of reveal is that they're the other characters that are going to be in this movie.
Yeah, that they... Well, we knew the JSA was going to be in it, the Justice Society of America, but we didn't know which characters were going to be in it. I think everyone knew that Noah Centineo was in it. I read an article that he was in it.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I read an article that... I don't know if it was rumored or confirmed, but I read a while ago that he was going to be in it as Atom Smasher.
So, like, I was surprised when he was in the panel as well. So he kind of called in and him and Dwayne Johnson had a bit of a chat. But when I was like, why is this guy calling? Is he just like a fan of Black Adam? I didn't even know he was in the movie.
Is Dwayne Johnson going to be in Perfect Date too?
Yeah. So apparently he's been working out like crazy as well.
Yeah, they both have really thick necks. I don't know if you realize that. They got very thick necks. But anyway, he's Atom Smasher.
Yes. So apparently he gets really, really big. He said he's as big as the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. So I think it's like changes the size of his atoms, I'm guessing. I don't know a lot about him. And then there was Hawkman, who I do know a little bit about from Justice League cartoon.
Yeah. Well, I know Hawk Girl, but they're from the same planet. Or
they're
whatever.
from the same. Yeah, they're married. Yeah. And then Dr. Fate, who I also know from the Justice League cartoon.
And he's a character in Injustice, right?
He is, yes. And then the other character was Cyclone.
He creates cyclones.
It's a she.
Okay, she creates cyclones.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's her powers.
I don't know a lot about her. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Cyclone.
I know Dr. Fate's like this like mystical being who's like all powerful basically, but he's doesn't care about humans. He only cares about protecting the Earth. And Hawkman is a man that is also a hawk.
Yeah, and he has a hammer or something, right? A staff.
His wife
or a
has
hammer
the
or
mace.
Yeah.
His wife has the mace. Yeah. I think he's got like an axe or something like that.
So they're the good guys.
Yes.
And Black Adam is he's basically an anti-hero. So in this movie, we're gonna see it from his perspective, I'm guessing. So it's gonna be Black Adam.
Yeah.
Should be interesting. I'm looking forward to it, but they didn't even say when this movie is coming out. So
I think 2022.
If they can start shooting next year, I'm guessing. I think that was all that was in that panel. My stream cut off towards the end. I think Dwayne Johnson was saying there's one more thing I want to tell you.
Oh, he just like threaded the Justice League.
Oh, okay.
He's just like, I just want you to pass on a message to Superman, Batman, and whatever. He's like, I'm coming for you.
After this, I kind of tuned off a little bit because I went to eat breakfast, but there was a couple of panels on... there was one panel on real-life heroes during coronavirus, which was... I think it was just footage from CNN. I guess it was good. CNN must be partnered with Warner Brothers in some way, so they showed some of their footage. Then it was a Titans TV panel, which I did watch a little bit of. I haven't watched this show. I think you've watched a bit of it.
I've watched all of it, actually.
So you must have known what they were talking about with the Robin like quitting and becoming...
Yeah. Coming as Red Hood.
Yeah.
Surprising. I think that's a good way to go with the show. The show's a bit hot and cold. Like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so great. But yeah, I think that was the only kind of thing that they said on that panel, is that he's coming back as Red Hood. So,
and they showed some footage of a fight scene or something, which
that was previous seasons.
I think they were just talking about when they were filming that or something. So
yeah, they were just like good moments or something. Yeah. But anyway, that sounds interesting.
Then there was an Aquaman panel, which was probably out of the
that
movie
was probably
panels,
the low light.
It was probably one of the worst ones.
But I'll say this, it was just James Wan and Patrick Wilson. I'll say this, they had a good time. I enjoyed watching them have a good time. Like they didn't reveal anything.
It could have just been a private conversation, like a private Zoom call that those two were having, and they just happened to record it.
Yeah, it was just them having a chat, which look, I didn't hate, to be honest. It was good to get an insight into their friendship. And look, they really got along well with each other. But yeah, in terms of the movie, other than revealing that Patrick Wilson's going to be in it, there was nothing else.
I mean, the only thing is, I think James Wan, again, this is about the first movie, is that he wanted Patrick Wilson in it before he even like got the role, pretty much. Like he knew that it was in development.
He said he wrote the role for Patrick Wilson.
Yeah. And he wanted someone that was like the opposite of Jason Momoa, which I guess he is.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. It was good just watching them have a good chat. I enjoyed it.
Next was an Ask Harley Quinn, the animated Harley Quinn panel. I didn't watch this. Did you watch it?
I did, but it was nothing. It was just, there was like some questions sent to Harley Quinn, the animated Harley Quinn, and she just answered them. None of them had any impact on anything. Yeah. Although she hinted, there was like a hint that season 3 might be coming.
And you've watched the first 2?
I did, yeah. It's a good show.
I think it's on Amazon Prime for us now. So
I think only the first season's on Amazon Prime. Only the first season.
Oh, okay. Well, how many episodes are in each season?
It was like 12, I think. Okay. 12, 13, yeah.
How long are the episodes?
20 minutes.
I'll give it a watch. There was a Wonder Woman 80th celebration panel.
Yeah, that was just Gal Gadot, Patty Jenkins, and I still can't remember her name. What's the original Wonder Woman's name? And they just chatted about Wonder Woman and her progression through the ages.
The original Wonder Woman was from the 80s show starring Linda Carter.
Linda Carter, that's her. Yeah. So it's them three just talking. Nothing else much about, nothing about the movie or anything like that. Just chatting.
There was another panel with, might have been one of the earlier ones, with Patty Jenkins speaking with Venus Williams as well.
That was the boss.
Yeah.
The boss of women of color within the DC universe. Yeah.
Venus Williams seems to be a really, really big fan of DC. Like, she knows a lot of stuff about DC.
She was in one of the earlier panels as well. I think she was in the Wonder Woman original panel. She asked them a question. She asked who would win in a tennis match, Cheetah or Wonder Woman?
Probably Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I don't know. No one cared. no one really answered the question.
Next was Tomorrow's Superheroes with Jim Lee. I don't know what that was. Did you?
I kind of tuned in and out of it. There wasn't much. It was just Jim Lee kind of talking about having some more diversity in comics in the future. That's basically it. Yeah.
Then there was a Shazam panel. Again, there wasn't that much to actually talk about in this. Most of the time,
I expected nothing.
Yeah.
But they gave us something.
Yes, they gave us the title.
Yeah. It was actually a really funny panel. I rated the panel. It was hilarious. So a bit of info on this panel. I did a bit of research back into it because I was talking to you about it. Sinbad came onto the panel, who's an American stand-up comedian, and he's like, a lot of people think I'm in this movie called Shazam, but I'm not in it. And apparently there's this phenomenon where 90s kids think there's this movie called Shazam with 2 A's starring Sinbad, but there's no such movie. It's never existed.
It didn't go into like production and like stop in between.
No,
it just never existed.
It's never existed. People claim there's a movie with Sinbad where he dresses up as a genie, and the movie's called Shazam, but it's never been there.
That's Shazam starring Shaquille O'Neal.
They also think he's in that. He's not in that either.
Is he going to be in this, or was that just a joke?
No, I think it was just a joke. So it's like,
okay.
Do you know the Mandela effect, where people think something is real but it's not?
It's not.
It's like, it's the biggest Mandela effect. People think he's in this movie called Shazam, but he's not.
The dialogue in Empire Strikes Back, everyone thinks it's Luke, I'm your father.
Luke, I'm your father, but it's no, I'm your father.
No, I'm your father. Yeah. So
yeah.
But this is like next level because this never even existed. Like this is.
It didn't exist.
Yeah.
I did. Everyone look it up. It's really interesting. People think this movie exists, but it doesn't exist in any form.
So on this panel, they had most of the main sort of cast, I think.
Yeah, they had the kid that plays Shazam. They had the guy that plays Shazam. They had the little girl, Zachary Levi. Yeah, they had the little girl.
They had Adam Brody.
The big version of the girl. They had Adam Brody. They had Sinbad.
They had the director as well.
David F. Sandberg. Yeah, I think that was everyone, wasn't it?
So like. Basically, they just cracked some jokes and like had some banter for like 10, 15 minutes, and then
but it was good banter. Yeah.
And then they revealed the title. So the title was Shazam: Fury of the Gods,
which means nothing to me. But
means nothing. Well, the gods are angry, I guess, at something. This will be coming out after Black Adam, right?
Yeah, I think they're shooting it together. I think Black Adam's in it. Yeah.
I like the first.
Apparently, back to back.
Shazam. So. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, me too. This is another one where the cast gets along really well together. I'm like, they're just having a good time. It just must be a good time on the set. It makes me happy.
Then it was this, what we were talking about earlier, the Wonder Woman cast playing this game, pretty much like Mafia. Yep. The villains ended up winning, so...
They did, yes.
Yeah.
There was a superhero who, I don't know if you guys have played the game Mafia, but this it was kind of, the superhero can save one person from being killed by the villains. And Pedro Pascal, at the end, Pedro Pascal was the superhero, and he was the first one to get knocked out. and then they were like, why didn't you save yourself? And he's like, I don't know. I saved this other chick who ended up being the villain. It's like, why'd you do that?
He obviously doesn't play this game.
No. It was pretty funny though.
Next was the game announcement, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So they had Will Arnett for this. And they just showed
it had Will Arnett and some guy from Rocksteady. Like
yes.
some guy from the studios, yeah.
And they had some footage. I thought the footage looked pretty good.
Yeah, not in-game footage, but just a trailer.
Cutscenes, yeah.
Look, it looked pretty good, didn't it? This one definitely has multiplayer, and you can play with your friends, and each one of them have like a different skill set. The 4 players you can play as are Deadshot, King Shark, Captain Boomerang, and Harley Quinn. And yeah, they've all got their particular skill set. And yeah, basically it looks like they have to kill the Justice League.
Because the Justice League have gone bad?
Yeah, it looked like Brainiac was there, and Brainiac took them over, because in the trailer at the start you see the skull, like a big skull ship, which I think is Brainiac's ship. I think he takes over the Justice League or something.
And then they had this virtual panel thing with Will Arnett and a couple of the characters from the game as well, where they just had a bit of a chat. But yeah, I think the game looks pretty good. Is that also coming out next year?
Nah, not until 2022, so a long way away.
Yeah. So that's definitely going to be next gen game. And then we get to the last panel of the event, the Batman. So I didn't actually watch the panel for this because I was out walking, and my wife didn't want me watching something while I was walking in case I like walk into a tree or something. So I didn't watch the panel, but I did watch the trailer afterwards. But how you said the panel was pretty long and they didn't have much to say.
It was really long. Yeah, well, Robert Pattinson was there at the start, and he'd record this video that looked like he recorded at like 2 a.m. when he was half asleep. It was like, he did not look into it at all. But he's like, I can't reveal anything, but I'm in this movie. That's pretty much it. Yeah. And he's like, oh, wait till the end and you might get something. And then Matt Reeves did like a discussion with one of the anchors, and they asked him a lot of questions, and then he answered back. He talked for ages. He talked for so long. I tuned in and out. Yeah,
well, apparently they've only shot about 20 to 25% of this movie.
He said 30 to 40, no, 25 to 40% or something. Like, not a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously it's been stalled because of coronavirus, but I think they would have actually finished most of it by now. By now anyway, but I'm surprised they still managed to
cut
get a
trailer together. Yeah,
because I think they've only
and
shot
I'm surprised it has
like 2 or 3 like proper sequences for the movie, and it looks like they've just cut that together in a trailer.
Yeah, it's surprised the trailer looks as good as it does with just that much footage. But he mentioned a couple things. He said it's a Batman Year 2 story, so Batman's been doing his thing for 1.5 years.
Yeah.
Yep. He said it's a thriller, where someone's murdering people, and Batman's trying to unravel the mystery that may or may not have links to his past, and also it has links to the corruption in Gotham City. I thought that sounded interesting because it's going to be a detective movie, which I think will be good.
Yeah, I think that sounds encouraging.
He said it's primarily a detective movie and secondary action movie.
Which is probably what we need from a Batman movie, because we've seen there's been so many interpretations of Batman now, so we probably need something a little bit different. That being said, so coming to the trailer, what I got from it is it's kind of it is a grounded universe, so it kind of did remind me a little bit of Nolan's Batman universe, a little bit, in the way it's shot. Batman seems to be pretty brutal, so that kind of reminded me of just from that one sequence that they show in the trailer. Completely bashes up that guy pretty badly. So yeah, that reminded me of the Zack Snyder Batman. Yeah, I mean, overall, there's not that much to go off, but I think they do show at least two of the villains. So I did pick up a couple of shots of Catwoman, and I did pick up a couple of shots of what seems to be the Penguin. You can't even tell that it's Colin Farrell, but I think
I didn't see it, but I didn't watch it that closely.
Yeah, it's like literally just a couple of shots, but it's a guy with like a round face with a longish nose, and I'm guessing that's Penguin.
You see a letter written by what looks like the Riddler?
Yes, and I think the guy at the start of the trailer who's taping up the guy's head.
That is someone else. That is not
Riddler.
That's not going to be the Riddler or what's his name? Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin. It's not going to be either one of those. Well, I think from what I can see, I think it's going to be based off Hush a little bit. So that could be Hush. I won't say who Hush is, but that could be Hush.
Because we already know that Catwoman, Penguin, Riddler are in this movie for sure, but there could be another, because it is looks like it's like a mass murder mystery sort of thing. So it might be like a whodunit, like maybe he goes through all the villains and tries to figure out who it is, but it ends up being someone completely different.
Yeah, that's what from what he said and from the trailer, that's what I think it is. And if it is that will be awesome. If it's not that, then I'm not interested.
Yeah.
If it's just another like Nolan Batman, then I'm not interested.
The only other thing I want from this movie is I hope it's not too dark. I hope there's like moments of levity.
You know what? If it's like Seven, like, do you know, have you watched David Fincher's Seven?
Yeah. With Brad Pitt, right?
Brad Pitt, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's like, that's like a super dark movie, but it's a mystery, like a thriller, I think that would still be good as a Batman movie if it's like that kind of tone. But if it's about him realizing who he is and, I don't know, finding something deep inside him to see that he's Gotham's shining light or whatever bullshit the Nolan movies are. I do like those. I do like those movies, but if it's that, then I'm not interested.
Well, hopefully he's past all of that, because hopefully that happened in the previous 18 months of his tenure as Batman.
Oh, the other thing he did say is that the TV show that he's going to be show running is going to be in Batman Year One, Gotham City Police or something, Gotham PD, something like that. And
I guess we should probably talk about the suit, because we do see it
looks
properly.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks really good. Yeah.
It's like an industrial look.
It looks like something that someone could make in real life.
It's not as sleek as the Nolan ones. I feel like it's a little bit more like ragged, but it's similar to those. It's definitely not like the Burton ones. So it's nowhere near that. And it's probably
not as comic booky as the Zack Snyder one.
The Zack Snyder one. So it's like in between. Yeah. But it's still like, I think these are still more towards the Nolan Batmans than any of the other movies. It feels like it's more of a grounded universe, and
I think it will be.
Like going by Matt Reeves' previous movies as well, like the Planet of the Apes movies, they were pretty like grounded as they could be for those sort of movies. And those movies are also like I like them, but they're very serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, I expect this to be the same. I don't think it's going to be light. I think it's going to be serious. But if it's a detective movie and it's serious, I'm okay with it. If it's not, then I'm not okay with it.
And he uses eyeliner. Is it eyeliner?
He does, which makes sense. Yeah, not eyeliner. It's like
mascara.
Yeah, it's mascara. Maybe mascara. Yeah.
Something so like that. He uses that, which all the Batmans actually do, but they never actually.
But when they take their cowl off,
yeah.
They don't have it on mysteriously.
So like that's why it looks kind of I guess emo at the end of the trailer when they show his face. But I guess that's how all the other Batmans would have looked.
What was with that scene when they were in like a jail cell and he's just punching on with all these police officers? Did you see that?
No, I didn't pick that up. When was that? Towards the end?
Yeah, towards the end, he's like, it's in his Batman suit and Gordon's in there and he's just punching on with all these police officers.
That police officer is Gordon in this universe. The
one, Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah. So he's Gordon,
yeah.
and Andy Serkis is Alfred. You don't see him, but you hear him.
Which you hear a voiceover, I think.
Yeah.
I think it looked good, only because of what Matt Reeves said. If I didn't hear what he said and I just watched the trailer, I wouldn't have liked it.
I just feel like there's been too much Batman. Like, I feel it's too soon for a reboot.
Would you like to watch a Batman movie where he's being a detective?
Yeah, if it is that, then I'm in. But if it, like you said, if it is just like another Batman movie like the ones we've already had, then maybe it's not what I'm looking for. But hopefully it is more of a detective mystery type story. But yeah, like when I saw that they were rebooting Batman, I just thought it was probably too soon because we've only had two movies with Ben Affleck. And they weren't even that long ago. I wonder what's left in this movie of Ben Affleck's. You know how Ben Affleck was going to make this movie? He was going to direct.
No, I think none of it.
It's just a completely different story. And this won't link in with the rest of the DC universe unless they start doing multiverse stuff.
Yeah, I think they're going to lead into the multiverse. I think they are. And it makes it easy for them. Then they can pick and choose which movies go into the multiverse. They can just choose the ones that they like and then put them in.
Yeah.
And then if a movie doesn't do well, then they don't need to put it in.
Well, obviously they're not touching the Nolan ones in this multiverse concept, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
But they could. Maybe they could bring it back. Yeah.
They could. Well, they're getting Michael Keaton back. Maybe they'll get George Clooney back.
Yeah. I don't know. I think multiverse is a good idea. I think it's a different thing to what Marvel's done. And I think Marvel will do it eventually, but if they beat them to it, then they can do it better than Marvel can. Well, if you do it first, then people are going to like you better, which is what Marvel did. They did it first, so everyone likes them better. But if DC does the multiverse
they did it first, and they did it well. Like they yeah. So,
but if DC nails the multiverse, then they could. That's the way they could do better than Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Marvel did it the hard way. So they actually built it as a connected universe from the bottom up. I think DC is just going, well, they tried and obviously it hasn't really worked out. So they're just going to pick and choose now. And that will probably work out better for them.
DC has the history as well, don't they? So they've got all these movies that people like in the past. So they probably have more opportunity to do a multiverse.
Because Marvel doesn't really have... Before the MCU, they didn't really have many other movies.
That's
apart from X-Men. Yeah, Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four. That was it. Overall, I thought it was... I thought it was a pretty good lineup when I saw the schedule. But maybe I was expecting a bit too much for some of the panels. But overall, I think it was a pretty good outing. I
think all the panels delivered more than I thought they would. Except maybe Suicide Squad. I was hoping they would have an actual trailer for the Suicide Squad, which they didn't, but that's alright. Everything else, they probably had more than I expect. I didn't expect a trailer for Batman because I thought they hadn't shot enough. The other ones haven't even shot anything, so I'm like, what the hell are they going to show?
Yeah, like the other ones, they haven't even finished pre-production. Like, I don't think they haven't even finalized the story for some of them. I don't think.
Yeah. So I was surprised that they showed as much as they did.
Are they going to do this every year, or is this just a COVID-19?
I think if it's popular, they might do it every year.
Yeah,
but they might have it as an actual thing.
Like you go there and
you go there. Yeah.
Because this is probably the first time we've been able to watch panels live because it was just streamed. Because all the previous years, like Comic-Con, they're always closed doors, so you can't really watch them unless you actually go there. And this year's Comic-Con, there was
nothing on.
Yeah, nothing.
But this was good. Yeah.
This was because DC didn't do anything at Comic-Con, right? So this was pretty much their Comic-Con.
Yeah. if Marvel did a thing like this, I'll definitely tune in as well. I don't think they will because they're a bit hamstrung at the moment.
Well, they have even less to talk about than DC, to be honest. Like, they don't have anything in that they can
I think
show.
they have plans, but they can't actually reveal them without giving away storylines for, like, the coming up films. So they got to wait till they release these films, and then they can say, oh, we're doing this. But if they say they're doing that now, then it's going to make it too obvious what's coming up.
Anyway, we'll see what happens. Things are still pretty uncertain around coronavirus, so we don't know when things are releasing, what's going to happen.
Or what they're going to release on.
Yeah, like, well, it looks like Warner Brothers is planning to release wherever they can their movies. Tenet is releasing in Australia, not in our state, but in Australia this week. We're not going to be able to watch it till... Well, we actually don't know when we'll be able to watch it. It might be like December or something by the time we watch it. They might do the same with Wonder Woman. They might just release it wherever they can. All right. I think that's all. That's all I had to say.
Yeah. Overall, not too bad. Not too shabby for a panel.
If people want to get in touch with us, how do they go about it?
So they can contact us on Facebook at Cognitive Recalibration or Instagram at the same place. Our Twitter handle is at @CRecalibration. And our Gmail is cognitiverecalibrationpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, and now if you want to support the podcast, you can do so via a couple of means. So you can purchase something via our Amazon affiliate link, which I'll link in the description for this episode. You can also give us a one-off payment through Buy Me a Coffee. So we'll use that to further develop our podcast. And I think our podcast provider, Acast, is also providing a similar concept in terms of you can just provide a one-off donation to us as well. So if you feel like encouraging us financially, then please do so. But all we ask for really is just a good review on iTunes. So please do give us a review on iTunes or Spotify, because that makes us more discoverable on search engines. Okay. So I think that's all we had. We are going to do... You haven't seen many episodes from us during this whole period because a variety of factors. So, obviously there's not stuff coming out, so there's not that much we can talk about. But we've also been quite busy in our day jobs as well. So that's kind of kept us away from this. But we're going to be doing more content. We've got a whole series planned coming up, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, where we're going to talk about Christopher Nolan, his filmography, excluding the Dark Knight trilogy. So we've got quite a bit to talk about in all of those movies, following up to Tenet, whenever we get to watch that movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool. But till then, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys next time.